recording.
There we go.
It's the show. We're back.
We're back, yeah.
After missing another one.
Another show. Yeah. After we promised, the second time we promised to not miss a show.
Yep. Sorry, guys.
I don't think they love us or missed us anyways.
No.
I don't know. Whatever.
No. Yes and no.
Maybe.
We have listeners.
Okay.
So to those listeners, sorry. We'll eventually get it down. It's hard. Yeah.
We're trying to get ahead.
We have a bunch of kids. We have demanding jobs. We have holidays.
Yep.
It's not easy finding time for this. It's difficult.
It's easy. It's not easy to carve out 6 hours on a Friday night every other Friday.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time doing all this stuff.
Bullshit for 6 hours.
And then the uploading and the editing and the all the other stuff. And that's why we do nothing on Twitter.
Yeah.
But no, I shouldn't say we do nothing. We've gotten some interesting conversations on Twitter, but not really that much.
I think we're not good at the Twitters.
You know, I know I tell people to follow us on Twitter, and then they do, and then...
Yeah, I have more people abandoning my Twitter because it's really not much there. Just, every now and then I'm like, I need this. This is cool. Or you and I talking about something stupid and it doesn't last for very long. Or I mention you and you never see it. And
but if someone like DMs us or like someone mentions us, we're always
absolutely
we respond.
If you
YouTube
DM
comments, we respond. But it's not that we ignore people. It's just that we don't put a lot of content on there. But we should probably put clips on there, but that's like more work.
I always share what you share. I'm lazy.
Yeah,
like you share it, and then I just retweet.
And I get into arguments with politicians.
Yeah, your Twitter scares me.
Yeah,
but if you were to DM, I think we would be receptive. And I know we're also trying to find a way to get a voicemail up so that you can leave messages.
Yeah,
if you have something to
a Google Voice number, or something,
or contribute.
Maybe we get callers to call into the show.
Maybe we can. Yeah, maybe
like Love Line.
We should try to do a live call-in show.
We can give sex advice.
I could do that. I've had sex at least twice
that we know of. Yeah,
that's
you have evidence of.
That I've happened at least twice that I remember.
One of them sort of looks like you.
Kind of. Yeah, the other one. Where Blow Eyes came from. It's not anybody. Actually, doesn't look like my wife either. So
yeah, she was given like some gene explanation. Was that her?
Or that was her.
Yeah. And I wasn't buying it.
It seems fishy.
Yeah, it's a little fishy.
Have you seen my mailman too?
Something with A-B. What was she saying? Something about...
You're a big B and a little B.
A big B, little B. And I was like, all right. I don't know about that.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, at least he's not black, because that would be awkward.
That would be obvious.
Yeah, because I would be like...
That's obvious.
I mean, I am, according to 423... I almost said 43 and me.
423?
23 and me. 423 and me.
Okay, it's not. There's no 4.
There's no 4, but it's 420. So I'm trying to. Okay. So 23andMe says that I'm like 1% sub-Saharan African.
Nice.
Yeah, just like in this. I try to say just like in this area here,
right
in the pelvis area.
Pelvis.
Yeah, very concentrated.
Yep. And if not only today's 420 and it's 420 2019, not 1919. That would be. We wouldn't be podcasting, but 2019. So
what would we be
that
doing
means
in 1919?
That if you got married today, your 50th wedding anniversary would be 4/20/69.
4/20/69, dude.
How great of a wedding anniversary is that?
That's amazing. Yeah, it's kind of like naming your kid something that you think is funny, like if your last name were Cox and you named him Big Cox. You think like it's funny and you go, that's funny. And then the kids in high school
ruin his life.
Big Cox? Do we have any Big Cox here?
Big Cox.
Right over here, motherfucker.
Big Cox here.
Biggest one you ever seen.
All right. So I think the last time I have maybe some old notes here too, because I think the last time we talked a little bit about Kurt Cobain, right? That was he shot himself. That was April 5th, right? He shot himself.
Was it? I don't even remember that date that much.
I think so. So we won't go over that one. Are you getting Disney Plus?
I think I am. I don't know how I can't. I mean, dude, if you've been to Disney, they don't do anything half-ass. Like,
yeah, no, they're pretty. They are very. They stick to the to the brand, I guess. Like it just it permeates everywhere. It's every employee, every there's no garbage on the ground. You don't see with the characters taking
no. They have underground. There's an underground
complex that Mickey could pop out of nowhere, and now stormtroopers are popping out of nowhere, which is pretty fucking cool. And they I remember when I was like a little kid when we went, because what was it, like maybe 3 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
And the whole Star Wars thing was kind of new, so they didn't have a lot of stuff. But they had like a museum there. I took a bunch of pictures. Like they had all the paraphernalia from the movies there, and Yoda's lightsaber, the Millennium Falcon model. It was all there, and I was freaking out. Like my son was just like, "All right, Dad,"
Yeah.
And then the stormtroopers walking around, they sounded like the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
They looked and sounded like stormtroopers. It wasn't, Mickey Mouse. He doesn't look or sound like Mickey Mouse, but this is like having conversations with stormtroopers, and they were like taking prisoners, like walking around. I thought it was awesome.
Well, so were they a part of the 101st Stormtrooper Legion? That whole professional Stormtrooper Legion that they have?
No. These were
Disney
A
cast
New
members.
Hope. Oh, these are Disney cast members. A New Hope stormtroopers.
Well, the 101st, sorry, is A New Hope, but they are regular people that cast those stormtrooper costumes themselves. Like they make their own stormtrooper costumes.
What are you talking about?
The 101st Stormtrooper Legion.
What about them?
They make their own stormtrooper costumes, and as one of the requirements, they literally have to get the
actors in the movie. Who are you talking?
Okay, so there's an organization called the 101st Stormtrooper Legion.
Organization in the Star Wars world or in real life?
In real life, think of them like Eagle Scouts for nerds. They build their own stormtrooper costumes.
Oh, you talking about? Oh no, these were Disney employees.
Disney cast members.
These weren't fans.
The cool thing about the 101st, when you go to a Comic-Con and you see them, is that when they cast their stormtrooper outfits, they have to use a mold that was used in the original trilogy to cast their stormtrooper outfit in order to be considered a member of the 101st.
Wow,
Legion.
That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool that somebody fucking has that somewhere.
Well, I mean, that's why in the museum you could buy it. Like when you saw them walking around in, it was there and it was for sale.
That was awesome.
I tell you, if I was the type of person who had like, I don't want to say FU money, but before FU money, like just like a lot of money, I would have left there. I could have left there with, let's say I had $20,000 burning a hole in my pocket. I would have left with Darth Vader's helmet, his helmet. It was so obviously his helmet. Like, it wasn't one of those cheap plastic things. It was his helmet. It looks like you could breathe in a volcano with it. Then I would have definitely bought Han Solo's full outfit. The full fucking outfit was there for sale.
Everybody should have a smuggler's vest. I actually have a smuggler's vest from a costume because I was Han Solo one year that Lucas picked us to be those characters. But and the smuggler's vest is really cool.
Yeah, no, the whole outfit is great.
Well, the pants are cool too. But
the pants are cool. The belt is cool as fuck.
Yeah, of course.
It's got the double.
The holster
thing.
is
the holster.
Yeah, the holster.
And he it was. You go and you buy a costume, and I've bought costumes. I've made costumes. This is movie grade Han Solo. Then I definitely would have bought one of the. They had several different stormtroopers there. They didn't have Captain Phasma. They had what's the other one with the orange shoulder?
Well, those are the sand troopers. Were wearing the orange shoulder pads. It wasn't a clone trooper. It was a stormtrooper, right?
I believe this was a stormtrooper.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember.
So the shoulder badges
just on the
mean
right shoulder, it was an extra layer, like almost looks like something you would shoulder a rifle.
half of a shoulder
They called
pad.
half a shoulder pad,
Yeah.
right? The
So
orange one.
I have something actually pinned up on Lucas got it when he got his Disney Stormtrooper costume from the Disney store. They have different shoulder pads. They had a black one, they had a white one, and they had an orange one that you could stick on.
Okay.
And he has a card that tells you what it means.
Okay.
And he could probably tell me.
a meaning.
He could tell me exactly what it means, I'm sure.
Right.
But so
but it's a different trooper. It's not a regular stormtrooper. It's something else.
yeah, where
Like
were
if you
you?
had the Kenner blister pack and that guy was in it, it wouldn't just say stormtrooper.
I want to say it was the Sand Trooper because it was that was the guy who was there at the moment when Obi-Wan said, "These aren't the droids you're looking for." I think that was the guy.
I think so too.
What park were you at that you saw this?
We used to say that in college.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
It was like a little code. Like if one of our drunk friends was talking to a bunch of ugly chicks, we'd stick our head in and go, "These aren't the droids you're looking for."
And he'd say, "These aren't."
And
the droids
he would
you're
go, "Oh, you know." Wait, I mean, we were stupid young college drunk college dorks,
nerds."
you know?
Yes, they didn't understand the nerds.
Yeah, I mean, there's more to a woman than the way she looks, obviously, but at that age, in that state of mind,
People can be judgmental.
yeah, very.
It's also subjective what you like and what somebody else might like.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. What was I saying?
But back away from women
awesome
and back
costumes.
to dorky stuff. But
Costumes,
so
yeah.
what
Sorry.
it's hard doing this show.
Sorry.
What park were you at? Sorry, it's so fucking funny.
I don't know.
I'm trying. Well, I was wanting to get to the park. I couldn't remember the word park. Which of the Disney parks were you at that you saw this? The main Disney park, Disney World, Walt Disney World?
But like Magic Kingdom? No. It wasn't in Magic Kingdom.
Studios.
I wasn't at Universal. I know you.
No, that's not Universal. Universal's
so
not
Lisa, I always corrects me. This I think it's called Hollywood Studios now.
Disney Hollywood Studios.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think that's where I was.
So there was a period of time where they had Star Wars weekends there, where you could go and they would have these photo ops. I went with Lucas twice with my dad because he lives down there. And you have all these photo ops that you could go and meet the people, and they would sign stuff. And here is Ayala, Sakura, and all that. I mean, crazy. But they were mostly cosplaying people playing them.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Darth Vader at the table from Revenge of the Sith, and you get a picture with him. Here's Chewbacca, and
Right.
they were all over the place. And stormtroopers with the comlinks. It was amazing.
Pretty fucking cool.
It was super cool. Yeah, he was like. He met Boba Fett, and Boba Fett was like fucking with him. Like,
well, that's the thing I meant like with sticking with the brand is that, I mean, I met Chewbacca. I took a picture with Chewbacca, and if I was my son's age, 9 or 10 years old, I would have been convinced that I met Chewbacca because he talked.
yeah.
And it wasn't his voice didn't come out of a speaker in his ass or out of his chest. His voice came out of his mouth.
Yeah.
And he was like Nicholas took a picture. We took a picture together, and he was wearing a Kylo Ren shirt.
Yeah.
And so Chewbacca gets down like on a knee, and he's pointing at us, and he's making like.
Yeah.
He sounded like Chewbacca, like going, "What are you wearing this shirt for?" You know? And then my son was looking and then looking at him, and then he shrugged and then he hugged him, and I'm like, "Look at this shit!" And then I put my arm around him. He felt like Chewbacca.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus Christ! And he was like 7 feet tall.
The cosplay players are like really serious about their stuff. Like I've seen stuff at Comic-Cons where somebody did a Final Fantasy cosplay, and you know how in Final Fantasy they have the giant swords.
Yeah, those humongous.
The guy literally he's walking around this convention with a giant fucking sword. It's obscenely like
foam, right?
Yeah, but he's carrying it around, made out of foam or whatever they cast it out of.
Yeah, there's no way it's metal. You couldn't even drag that thing.
There's a certain amount of dedication that goes with that, and the other thing,
probably made it himself.
Oh, I'm sure they all do. If you go online, there's videos. I mean, like everything for everything. There's videos for everything, and they make these uniforms themselves. They will show you step by step how to cast it, how to dye it, how to. But the funny thing about the 101st is there's always for every svelte stormtrooper, there's also like 5 fat stormtroopers, which make me laugh.
Those are the best stormtroopers.
It's like the Porkins of stormtroopers. Mm-hmm. Like he's like fat guy. I'm like, that guy is squeezed into that armor, man. I'm like, dude.
But yeah, it was a great experience. Kylo Ren, we met Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
And he too. Spooky as hell. Like you walked in there and when he talked through that mask, and he talked very little, and he was more like just, you walked in and he just stared at you.
Yeah.
Like he was trying to intimidate you.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the pictures is he's having a stare down with Nicholas. Nicholas like looking up at him and he's just staring him down. Like, what are you doing?
How old was Nicholas when you took him there?
What was that? Maybe 2 or 3 years ago?
Okay.
So, I mean, and Nicholas isn't a huge Star Wars fan.
Mm-hmm.
I was enjoying it way more than he was.
Yeah.
But he got a kick out of it, and he got a kick out of seeing how much a kick out of it I was having. You know, seeing BB-8, like a life-size BB-8, all of it, anything from that universe that you would think that you would want to see, it was there. And now they have the Millennium Falcon there, and they have which. I heard that just like the movie, the Millennium Falcon itself versus the scenes inside, like the scenes that you see inside aren't from that actual same prop, because that prop is too small to actually shoot inside of. It's actually like, and I guess it makes sense. Like if you look at it, it's like, wait a minute, it doesn't really fit in there. So you don't get to walk through it. Like when you walk into the Millennium Falcon, you're not walking into, I don't know if I'm making any sense. So out in this desert there's this huge Millennium Falcon. And you look at it and go, wow, holy shit, the Millennium Falcon. But then when you go inside the Millennium Falcon, you don't go inside of that because it's actually physically too small.
Yeah. Because this is the Millennium Falcon ride you're talking about.
The attraction, I don't know what it is.
Because there's a ride that they do, but you go in, it looks like you're going in the Millennium Falcon, but you're actually going into the waiting area that everybody goes in for every ride, and then you go in to do
I think I rode that.
Yeah.
And I think that was at the moment C-3PO and R2-D2.
So that's Star Tours.
Star Tours, okay. Yeah. All right, so I didn't do you rode the Millennium Falcon?
No, the Millennium Falcon's not there yet. I don't think they're working on it, but I don't think the park.
The Millennium Falcon's up.
Is it up and running?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's running.
I know they're still working on the park. The park's not due to be open until next year, I think.
Maybe I'm going.
Yeah. Oh, no, me too.
We should go together.
We should go.
Yeah,
and Lucas.
We purposely put it off because we wanted to go back. And I said, I'm not going back until Star Wars is there.
Yeah. No,
to the rest of Star Wars.
You do know that they lifted the ban on serving alcohol inside the parks because the cantina, the Mos Eisley cantina.
Yeah, it's there. I know it's there, but
they're going to serve alcohol in there.
I'm going to drink spiked blue milk.
Oh, yeah, actually, yeah, blue milk. And the other thing is, actually, if we ever really wanted to do it in L.A., where your good friend Kevin Smith does some podcasts sometimes, there's a place called the Scum and Villainy Cantina in L.A., and it essentially is the Mos Eisley cantina.
It's the cantina. Okay.
And I hear it's pretty awesome. They have like theme-based drinks, like you mix drinks and stuff, and it sounds really cool. But yeah, no, that's going to be exciting. Well, let me ask you, have you seen the trailer for the new movie? Have you heard the title of the new movie?
Yes, I know the title. The Last Skywalker?
The Rise of Skywalker.
The Rise of Skywalker.
Which is a little bit confusing for a movie that's ending the Skywalker saga.
Yes.
To be called The Rise of Skywalker. Did you see the trailer?
No. How terrible is that?
No, well, I mean, have you seen The Last Jedi yet?
Mm-hmm.
You have. Have you seen The Force Awakens? You've seen The Last Jedi? Okay.
Not that bad.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I thought you hadn't seen it at one point.
The trailer came out. I was in the middle of something at work, and I saw that it came out. It's like, oh, shit, it came out. I got to watch that.
Yeah, it did come out of the blue. We've been waiting for it, and there's been a million, like, it's going to be on the Super Bowl. It's going to be blah, 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 blah. It's Christmas time, but I don't know. It's exciting. It's more exciting now that we haven't had a Star Wars movie for a while that we're seeing it again.
Mm-hmm.
There were pieces
but after
of it.
This, it's big break they're going to take here.
Yeah, I think they want to figure it out, and I think they want to stay the fuck away from the original saga. I think they're really intent to do their...
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So they're doing The Mandalorian, right?
They're doing The Mandalorian, and they're supposed to do some other stuff, but it's still unclear what they're committed to and what they're not committed to, and I think that'll be predicated by what happens with this movie and how it does.
I'll tell you something, and you know what it is? It's just that I keep forgetting. Because it's on my list of movies to watch immediately, but every time we get an hour and a half, and it's like, okay, what do you want to do? You want to watch Umbrella Academy? I'm like, all right, maybe. Let's watch some Always Sunny in Philadelphia reruns. I think we can do that too. Yeah, and a movie. I'm like, movie. What do you want to watch? Like what? John Wick. I saw John Wick. And trying to think of a movie and can't think of a movie, and then the next day, like, fuck, I didn't see Solo.
Oh no, we gotta watch. You and I should watch Solo together.
I've got to like that movie. I like it. It
really is a good movie.
Yeah, I mean,
it's better than people make it out to be, and actually, it fits. It's better. It's a better Star Wars movie than The Last Jedi was.
Well, okay,
it's better. It fits better. The performances are better. I think it's a very good movie. I enjoy it. I've watched it quite a few times already. I watch all that shit though constantly.
I don't know if I want to get into some Star Wars stuff right now, but
I think we do need to save that for the Star Wars show and go heavy Star Wars.
The Last Jedi.
And we can talk about that.
Yeah. There's like some weird stuff in that movie. I don't know if we should get into. I don't remember their names too. I need to watch it first so I can remember their names.
Yeah, I haven't so I watch Rogue One pretty often. I watch The Force Awakens pretty often. I watch Solo pretty often. I haven't maybe rewatched The Last Jedi a total of 2 times after I saw it in the movie theater. I've seen that movie 3 times. It's visually very good. It's visually appealing and stunning and all those things, but from a content perspective, it definitely is confusing. It's confusing.
There's some stuff that's thrown in there that doesn't belong.
Yeah, it's perplexing. It just makes me come out very puzzled by.
They did an amazing job with Tarkin, right? That was the movie Tarkin.
No, right? Tarkin was in Rogue One.
Rogue One.
Yeah.
Right. See, I'm getting my Star Wars movies mixed up.
So you really haven't watched the trailer for?
No, I haven't watched the trailer and I haven't watched Solo.
But you haven't watched the trailer for The Rise of Skywalker yet?
Right, the trailer. Yeah. No, I haven't watched.
Can we watch it now? Can you put it on? Put it on your Surface and watch it right here on the air.
On the air?
It's very short.
Isn't it boring?
Not really. I think I want to hear you. You've got to talk. Here's the struggle with this. You're going to have to talk to it while it's on and verbally talk out loud of your
I got to remember how to do this. Here, wait.
So go to YouTube. Here's what we'll do. You and I are going to sync up because I'll watch it at the same time as you.
Wait. So YouTube.
And go Rise of Skywalker trailer.
And there's probably a million of them right now, right?
Oh,
there's 10 edits. Rise of... It's not even, there it goes. Of Skywalker.
Not breakdown. Trailer.
Huge news revealed. Could be misleading to us. All Episode 9.
So I have
Star
the
Walker
one that
trailer.
says HD.
2 minutes and 19 seconds. Yes.
2 minutes and 19 seconds. Okay, so the pot.
That's a long time for me to be watching a video during.
All right, no more Lego Star Wars.
I don't have mine. It doesn't have any of that.
The ads. Hold on. All right, I have paused on the Lucasfilm logo.
Right? Oh yeah, but I'm already.
How far?
So am I, but I don't know. I'm 4 seconds in.
So pause it and rewind it to the beginning, and then we're going to count this down.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wait. We're
going to try this on the air. Why the fuck not? What do we got to lose here? I want to do this with you because I want to see your reactions.
Nothing.
No, we got nothing to lose.
Okay, so we're going to count.
Who are we trying to impress?
Nobody.
Nobody. All right, ready?
Ready? 1,
3, 2, 1.
Wait. Time out.
Okay.
Is it 3, 2, 1 press?
Are you going to do the lethal weapon thing? Is it 3, 2, 1 go or 3, 2?
That was lethal weapon?
Yes.
It's a legitimate question.
Remember he's on the toilet?
Remember that.
He's on the toilet with a bomb.
That's right. Well, it's a legitimate question.
Amazing. No, well, in that situation, yes.
Yes.
So it's 3, 2, 1, and then go. Not 3, 2.
Okay.
Go.
Like we were a rock band. 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right. Okay. Ready? Okay.
Ready?
So count it.
3, 2, 1.
Should
go.
I hit it? Wait.
Holy shit. Now
Right.
this is...
No, I have my finger hovering over it because I'm going to get it right. Let me.
Right.
Okay, I'm back. You ready?
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Now. This sounds like an obscene phone call. Though.
It does.
I'm actually... I think my...
This is going to get pulled off YouTube.
I think my dick got harder.
Okay.
Right? So that's Ray, right?
Yeah, in the desert.
She looks great.
She's got a...
Passed on all we know. 1,000 generations live in you now. But this is your fight.
It says
Can I say something?
Every generation has a legend. Yeah.
That sounded... Who was talking just now?
That's Mark Hamill. It's Luke.
It was? It didn't sound like him. He sounded like the... somebody else.
I mean, it looks amazing. It looks great. This Christmas,
Okay. Lando. Saga comes to an end.
got 3PO. And that's the medal from the New Hope.
Yep.
Now, what is that?
No one's ever really gone.
Time out. That was weird. No one's ever really gone?
No one's ever really gone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, yes.
And who was the laughing at the end?
That was Palpatine.
It was Palpatine. And that wreckage was the wreckage of one of the 9 million Death Stars or Death...
Pieces?
Something, right? It was a ring of a Death Star. It was obvious, right?
No, it wasn't obvious. I don't think it was obvious the pieces of Death Star.
Now, if you go back and roll back, you'll see that's the ring of...
No, I don't know who Eric Voss
Who
is.
the fuck is Eric? Eric, go fuck yourself.
Wait a minute. Wait.
What the fuck are you doing in my house? Hold on, I'm going to rewind.
Always be with you.
Look, dude. Here, look at... I got it right here.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right
Look at
there.
the ring. That's a piece of the Death Star.
Oh, were you talking about where the laser comes out of?
Yeah, that's the laser array, whatever the fuck it is.
Okay, well, yeah. This is where Luke was.
Well, I mean, I guess that's the question: is where it looks like Octu, but it's water.
Yes.
But I mean, it could be. I mean, Endor was.
That's where Luke was. So Luke was watching to make sure Palpatine didn't come back.
I don't know. I mean, I they got to tie the whole thing back together. I think J.J. Abrams is going to lean heavy into the whole nostalgia piece of. He's going to need to tie this thing to a successful close for everybody. I think they don't really have a legitimate bad guy. I think the spirit of Palpatine is a better bad guy than Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren is one of the lamest villains of all time.
He's kind of a toady.
He's just a lame villain. He's almost not a, he's a, I don't, the last three, this one included, I mean, I haven't watched this one. Obviously it didn't come out yet, but, from when The Force Awakens, when I watched Force Awakens, the only thing I took out of it was that there's no villain. There's no adversary that in this movie. Is it me? He's not. He's
He's a little bitch.
He's annoying.
He is annoying,
He's
yes.
fucking Pee Wee Herman with a lightsaber.
No, he's very annoying. Totally agree.
What? I don't even feel that she should feel even remotely threatened by him. Like, not even remotely threatened by him. Like, go back to A New Hope and how scary Darth Vader was. He was immensely scary. He was a
menacing figure.
He was tremendously menacing. The whole breathing thing, the whole choking people by looking at them, just the power, the way Leia was running from him in the beginning. We didn't know what she was running from, and the way he was just this mysterious, tremendously powerful, fucking evil guy. And I don't have any of that with these movies. I mean, Kylo Ren has he what is he I mean, he killed Snopes.
Yeah, he killed Snopes. And he killed WikiLeaks too.
He killed WikiLeaks and Snopes.
Snopes, both of them.
And
they did.
Am I supposed to be impressed by that?
I mean, even when he killed Han Solo, it was kind of like it came across as shitty,
that wasn't
though.
He didn't kill him. I mean, he killed him, but it's not like he earned killing him.
No, he didn't, because
he's blindsided him. He's his son. I mean, Jesus Christ.
What they did the most interesting.
And then you know what? Fucking Luke Skywalker would never fucking do that. Let's just fucking come on. Can somebody say this? I don't want to do a Star Wars show, but Luke Skywalker would not do that. He would not do that.
Yeah.
He completely became a different character when they did that. And when he would not do that. His whole storyline, his whole hero story brings you to the realization that he becomes a Jedi. He's never a Jedi he becomes a Jedi in the last moments of Return of the Jedi, when he lowers his lightsaber. He lowers it. And that's how he becomes a Jedi Master. He lowers it because he knows and he feels the good in his father, who was the most evil, could make Kylo Ren look like Pee Wee Herman. I mean, seriously. So he sees good in this person, right? But here's his best friend's son, and he's standing
his nephew. He's Luke's nephew,
right?
Because
right. His best friend's son and his nephew.
Yeah.
And he's standing over him with a lightsaber. And now, maybe that's not what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's Kylo Ren's story.
That's a lot of people will argue that's where they fucked up Star Wars, because Star Wars they put two versions of that there, and there's some ambiguity as to what really happened. So now you have this unreliable narrator, and you feel like you're being fucking jerked off because you're like, I don't know what to. So, but we should stop because I have
fucking excuse.
We should stop right now because
it's an excuse for bad fucking writing.
Yeah, it's flimsy writing, but and they're trying to be twisty, but at the same time they're being dishonest to the viewer, and it's just not how Star Wars works. Star Wars is very upfront, like you know where everybody is coming from. You get their personal moments, and you get their private, intimate moments where they're talking about this shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's put it this way. There's unreliable narrators and there's all that, but you cannot tell a story about a coming of age story in Luke Skywalker or whatever it is. You cannot create a hero, put him in the situation, have that hero cross these thresholds and find what they need to find, become the hero that was within them all along, and then come to the completion of the journey. And then he brings that back, he returns with it, and then say, okay, yeah, fuck all that. You can't do that. You can't fucking do that unless you're not good enough to come up with a story of your own.
Well,
so then what you could do is you could shock a bunch of people and I don't know. I don't know what the plan was, because that's not Luke Skywalker. If you're writing a book or you're writing whatever you're writing and you have a character, the moment you are writing you're moving along a plot, right?
mm-hmm.
And you have these characters moving along this plot, and then you get to a point where, okay, in this point in the plot, this character has to do this, and then you write that. And then you go back and you read it again, and then you go, but that's not the character up until this point. That's not who this character is. This character just did something to forward my plot, because I need to move my plot along, but did something out of character, did something that's not what this character would do. That means that either there's something wrong with my character or there's something wrong with the plot. Because I can't have both. Because if I put the both together, then it's disingenuous. It's a bad story.
I don't disagree. That's every problem with The Last Jedi, and I have a lot of feelings about a lot of what you just said about the Jedi. Like, I have my own thoughts about the Jedi in general.
Yeah, I mean, that's a different conversation.
I want to save all of that because
that's a different conversation.
It is a huge conversation.
I know what you
and I'm stopping. Yeah, because I have
that's too big of a conversation.
Legitimate feelings about the Jedi and their motives. That whole thing is in question to me, and I have a whole theory around that it's all perspective.
So Luke Skywalker is the bad guy throughout all of the movies.
No, don't think he's a bad guy. I don't think he's
so
bad.
That's the story of Star Wars.
He's the young, bright-eyed kid optimist, but I think the Jedi Order, as an organized order in the prequel movies, is a whole different entity. And I've read a lot of books, and I'm like, I don't even want to get into it because it's so
but they're
intricate.
They're a whole different entity, but that's what would have existed if there were such a thing as Jedi.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything else. I want to say it.
I mean,
I won't say what my agenda is around the Jedi.
Yeah,
I want to save it.
Okay, but we can have a whole different.
I think we're going to have a Star Wars show. We're going to talk about the trench run versus the asteroid belt.
Very, very strongly about.
But I don't disagree about the last Jedi. I don't disagree, and I think they like.
Can we also? I mean, even address the fact that Luke ran away? Is it? Unless, again, maybe. I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt because this is my childhood. This is I love Star Wars,
mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like being with an abusive husband. But no, you don't understand. He's actually really nice.
Really nice. He doesn't. He's just. He's not always like this.
And that's my relationship with Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
But Luke Skywalker probably also would not run away.
No, let's not forget that this is George Lucas's creation, right?
Right.
And this is not George Lucas writing these stories. It's people who think they know George Lucas, and I think
it's got nothing to do with George Lucas.
But I think
it's got to do with the story.
But it is. But I think here's the problem. J.J. Abrams wrote the first movie, and I think he had ideas of where he wanted those things to go.
What, The Force Awakens?
The Force Awakens, right? He wrote it, he directed it, he produced it, right? I think it was his baby, and he was like, great. And I think he wanted to get involved in the trilogy, and he wanted to get locked up for the whole trilogy.
Well, he copied the first movie.
But
go ahead.
But Disney didn't.
He copied the first movie.
Regardless, look, dude, the prequel trilogy was
He copied the first.
a
movie.
copy, dude. It was a copy. It was
The prequels.
The prequels
weren't good, but
they were trying
weren't
to
copies.
but they were trying to back right the whole Luke story over again, right? Whether Luke is on Tatooine and Anakin is on fucking Tatooine doing the same kind of fucking shit that Luke was doing. He's not working in a moisture evaporator farm with his uncle, but he's working in some fucking Watto.
He was a slave, though.
But he was a slave putting machinery together and doing electronics work, the same kind of shit that Luke was doing for his uncle. There's all kinds of parallels there. Yes, it's bigger because they also turned it into this big fucking political drama, which was, for most people, fucking boring. The fucking political drama of how Palpatine takes over the government, creates this fake foe.
That was pretty cool.
Well,
I love democracy.
It was, but dude, it's fucking boring. Nobody cares about the fucking Senate scenes. And I saw E.T. in the Senate scene. Who fucking cares? But but
weird.
But JJ had a vision for the trilogy. Disney didn't want to pay him for all three. They brought Rian Johnson in to do the middle one on the cheap. Rian Johnson unwrote half of what fucking he wrote in the first movie, which makes nothing left for the fucking third movie. And then they brought JJ in to try to fucking clean up the mess of like, how do we finish this mess that we started? And
well, that's what I'm saying. It's a mess. That's kind of my point. And I don't know where J.J. Abrams was going. I know he copied the first movie, but after he copied the first movie, I don't know what his plans were for the middle one or the end one. Maybe it would have resolved itself. My personal opinion is that the second movie was going to be another copy, and the third movie was going to be a third copy. That's.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't know if that's what it was going to be.
Making a copy for a new generation. There's nothing wrong with that, dude. I mean, look, everything that Quentin,
every story's been done. Yeah,
it has, and every single movie that Quentin Tarantino does that we rave about, just so you know, is a direct copy of another movie. Kill Bill. There are sections of Kill Bill. Mm-hmm. I'll pull the movies off my shelf that he copied 100%.
Yeah, no,
100% copied.
Yeah,
scene for scene.
I believe it. And I told you my feelings about Quentin Tarantino,
and I love him. No, I love the fact that
like him.
He pulls that stuff out because it's rare and stuff. And I know the stuff.
I mean, I watched. Let's talk Tarantino now for a minute. Okay, I watched.
Inglourious Bastards?
No.
Fuck. What episode are we on that you still have not fucking watched? It was episode
the Western.
1, dude.
Who's the Western? Not Django, but
not Django. It was the Hateful Eight.
The Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Loosely a Western, but yeah, Western.
I watched that movie and I don't know what to say. What was that movie?
It was okay.
What the fuck was that movie?
Okay.
What the fuck was that movie? The movie was you watching something for an hour and 15 minutes that turned out that you didn't really know what was going on. And then the last 15 minutes showed you what was going on. And then what? Now, what the fuck was that movie?
Yeah.
That movie wasn't good.
No, it was okay.
It wasn't good.
No.
I mean, it had tremendous dialogue, awesome moments, great cinematography, great all this stuff.
No, it looked
amazing acting.
It looked great. They were,
but what was the story about? What was it?
It was Reservoir Dogs in the Old West.
It was Reservoir Dogs in the Old West,
right?
But Reservoir Dogs was completely different.
Well, because Reservoir Dogs was the first time that anybody had done anything like that.
No, but Reservoir Dogs was, there was a mole, and you knew there was a mole, and who's the mole? And the whole movie's trying to find the mole. Hateful Eight was like, oh, these people are stuck here. They're all killing each other. This is bad. What's going on?
Yeah, and it was archetypes of Western characters all shoved into one place together in a snowstorm.
And then here's what really happened. Well, fuck you. You were telling me the story.
Yeah.
You decided not to tell me what was really happening because your story isn't interesting enough.
It's
because if you would have told me what was happening, It's not an interesting story.
No, it's only interesting because you're fucking with me. You're
right,
fucking with
right.
me. You're being dishonest with me.
Right, you're being dishonest with me the whole fucking movie. And am I supposed to stand up and applaud you now?
No.
That you told me what it's about?
I don't know that anybody, and I love Tarantino. I do love him. And
You love him?
I think he's
I don't love
brilliant.
him.
I think he's brilliant.
You think he's brilliant?
I think he is.
Why?
I think when you go back to his original movies, the first 3 or 4 movies, I think they are genius in the way that he takes a movie and he can flip around the time aspects within the movie. It's the dialogue of the characters is also very interesting.
Reservoir, I guess, all right. I think Reservoir Dogs was a brilliant movie. I guess that makes him brilliant. So maybe I'm back.
I mean, I think like
I think Pulp
else,
Fiction is a fantastic movie.
I think Pulp Fiction is great. I like Jackie Brown too. I love Kill Bill.
Kill Bill is a good movie.
After you get past Kill Bill, it gets a little it starts to get a little thin.
And Kill Bill is it's a good movie. It's fun to watch.
No, it's great to look at. It's fun to watch. You're right.
It's great to look at. It's fun to watch. It's a good, nice little revenge story. But it's not nearly as good as Pulp Fiction, and Pulp Fiction isn't even as good as Reservoir Dogs. Reservoir Dogs was a phenomenal movie.
No, it
but
was.
And that's
don't disagree. I'm not saying Hateful Eight is going to change your life. I don't think Django is amazing. All those movies have a moment or two. Even Inglourious Bastards has a moment or two. You're like, that's fucking funny, or that's fucking, oh my God, that's great or awesome or whatever.
Right.
And some of the choices that are made in there, but I don't think they're going to change your life.
Well, I don't think a movie needs to change your life, but
Reservoir
I think
Dogs had an impact on me. That final scene, the Mexican standoff in that warehouse with the guy bleeding out and all that shit, that the tension there, the character interaction,
because if you remember in Reservoir Dogs, at a certain point, you knew it was him.
Oh yeah, no, you knew, and you knew early on that Tim Roth was the mole.
Not that early on, but it comes somewhat like I think towards the middle. Like I think that's what kind of kicked off.
They tell him the story
between the second and third act. Yeah. So that
because you're not even sure what happens until the second act. That like there's all these guys hanging out. There's some big job. You're starting to get all the character aspects,
right?
Because it's more about the character exploration,
right?
Than anything else.
Yeah,
and the interaction.
Yes. Yeah, I guess it was. In the end of the day, it was just a bunch of interesting characters in an awkward situation. Who's the hero of Reservoir Dogs? I guess Tim Roth's character.
You could argue that Harvey Keitel is.
Or Harvey Keitel. Is Harvey Keitel the hero? Maybe. Could be. But
it's not Buscemi.
No.
And it's not Mr. Blonde because he's a fucking maniac.
Yeah. He's the antagonist.
You love him because he's a fucking maniac.
Right, but yeah. So the protagonist has got to be, I guess, either Harvey Keitel or Tim Roth.
Or both.
I probably have to watch. I haven't watched it in a long time, so I would have to look at it again. But Hitchcock would say, like, someone asked him, they were talking about suspense, and they said they did that thing with the two people sitting in the booth at the diner with the bomb underneath the table. You heard this one? Mm-hmm. Okay. So that was more Reservoir Dogs, where we, in Hitchcock fashion, instead of, having this going, them having a conversation and then a bomb suddenly going off, towards the middle of the movie, saw them having the conversation and knew there was a bomb underneath. Yeah. And now we're like, you want to go through the screen, there's a bomb underneath,
But Hitchcock accomplished a lot of that through his cinematography, right? It wasn't spelled out necessarily. And that was why it was. It wasn't like, just so you know, there's a bomb underneath the table. It was...
No.
You came to understand those things.
Yeah, you knew there was a bomb on the table.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Great movie or not?
Yes.
Why?
Well, I don't remember. I remember loving it.
I know. I love the movie.
But I haven't watched it since I was like maybe 20 years.
Visually stunning. Dialogue okay. Very suspenseful ending. Classic
That's
ending.
like one of the earlier CinemaScopes, right? With the really wide
widescreen, yeah, a lot of vistas and taking in. It's a major cinematography driven piece, and then also to the point of the music, the score. The score is what. And I showed it's. I know you're gonna think I'm a bad parent, but I showed the end of the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly to Lucas.
Bad parent.
And I showed it to him, and I said, "Dude, watch this scene." And it's not graphic; it really isn't graphic.
I don't remember.
But it's them standing in the graveyard. They found where they think the gold is.
You want one?
Yes, I absolutely do. And they're standing there, and you have the Enrico Morricone score, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And
he's good.
And they're just standing there facing off.
Yeah.
And they're just staring at each other, waiting for somebody to make a move. And meanwhile, Clint Eastwood knows that he's unloaded Tuco's gun, who's the ugly.
Right.
So he knows he needs to shoot. Oh my God, what the fuck is his name?
I don't remember. I really don't remember.
Fuck. I feel like I have to look this up. He's from New Jersey too.
The actor?
Yeah. Lee Van Cleef. Lee Van Cleef, right? Mm-hmm. He's the bad. And I fucking love Lee Van Cleef. Back to Sabata. Like, I'm a huge... he's amazing. It's just cool. I love, he's like Lee Marvin, Lee Van Cleef. He's like classic fucking actors and just plays a great good guy, but also plays a great bad guy. Mm-hmm. And he knows that Lee Van Cleef is a guy he's got to worry about. He's waiting for him to make his move, because if Tuco draws a gun, it doesn't mean fucking shit. And he shoots him, and the whole thing is over. And then you get the reveal, and it's fucking brilliant. Yes, of course. He knows he can't trust Tuco. He unloaded his fucking gun. And you know what? He also, where he told him the gold was is actually not where the fucking gold was. And you know what? Even at the end, he's the good guy. He's still going to give Tuco half the fucking gold. He just needs to get the fuck away from him before this cocksucker kills him. But it's a great ending. It's a great piece. It's a great package. And it's not about the dialogue. Tarantino,
I have to watch it again. I haven't seen it.
Tarantino's the opposite. It's more about the dialogue. It's more about the interaction. And it's more about
him.
It's the nuance, too.
It's about him.
About Tarantino?
Yeah.
No, he likes women's feet. He loves Uma Thurman's feet.
I think it's about him. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I don't know.
You love to absorb the ego of some of these guys. Like you hate Kevin Smith because you think he's a egotist.
I don't hate him. I love his movies. I think he could be egotistical for sure.
Really?
Self-centered but whatever.
So, not to change the subject, but did I ever tell you that I had an idea for a script for a sequel to... Remember the movie 48 Hours?
Yeah, they have it. It's called Another 48 Hours.
But I mean another sequel, like a newer version, like a more recent sequel to... It would be another 48 Hours.
We're not going to improv another 48 Hours.
We could if we want to, but let me just tell you my idea that I've always had for my sequel to the sequel to 48 Hours.
I don't remember the sequel.
So 48 Hours was great because it was iconic. It was just an iconic movie at the time. You had Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy at the height of Eddie Murphy being Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
A lot of really harsh language. It was, Eddie Murphy was a con, and he would, get out of jail for 48 hours if he helped Nick Nolte solve the case. He gets to go free.
Right.
But then, of course, for some reason, I don't remember Another 48 Hours so much, but he ends up back in jail. Obviously, he fucking has to do it again.
Right.
So I always had this idea for another 48 hours or yet another 48 hours.
I like
yet another 48 hours. And this is set nowadays. It's set in 2019.
Okay.
And the characters...
You want me to critique this for you?
I want you to tell me what you think. And then we will play with it if you want to play with it. But here's my idea for...
I don't know if we have time.
For yet
last time we did this, it was like 2.5 hours.
I know. And it got really... We were tired and drunk at the end. Yeah, it got very dark.
You brought up the feces.
Yeah, I did, and I apologize. I want to apologize, dear listeners. But so just to be clear, you had Eddie Murphy's character whose name was Reggie Hammond,
mm-hmm.
and then you had Jack Cates, who was Nick Nolte, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so my proposal is that you have yet another 48 hours where Reggie Hammond's son, Tyrone Hammond.
Okay.
I don't know what else to call him, but Tyrone Hammond.
Okay.
He's now
Tyrone is that's racist.
It's not racist. There's people named Tyrone.
I'm just kidding.
I'm just trying to think of Reggie.
I'm just messing with you.
So Tyrone is a.
You were apologizing for the name after you said it.
I felt bad because I just couldn't think of a better name because I didn't think that far ahead. I just had this concept in my head of what yet another 48 hours, a modern version of, and so Reggie Hammond's son Tyrone or Franklin Hammond is
also racist.
He's a cop. He's a cop now, right? Okay. He got out. He knocked the chick up because he fucked the chick in 48 hours at some point. Like he had sex. Like Kate's let him go have his fun, and he knocks that girl up, and he has a kid, right? And now his kid's like 35, and he's a cop on the beat.
His kid's 35.
His kid's that long, right? It's been a while, yeah. It has. God, and his 48 hours was in 1982.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
So, he has a son, and his son is Franklin Hammond, and he's a cop. He's been a cop for 15 years. And he's jaded like Nick. He's at the point of his career where he's jaded like Nick Nolte was jaded as a cop, right? Where you can be crooked, or you can be an alcoholic or whatever, or you can toe the line and be a good cop and never fucking get anywhere, right? But then
I like it so far because there's basis in all of this.
So, and then Jack Cates has a son who's a fucking criminal. We flipped the story around so that the conversation is now
a comedy.
It's a comedy, yeah. It's a buddy comedy.
It's good. Okay,
and it's Franklin Hammond,
his sons,
and Johnny Cates.
Johnny
Cates gets out of jail for 48 hours to help Franklin Hammond solve a crime.
Johnny Cates would have to be a criminal given his father,
Yeah, because Cates is like a crooked cop. So he gets arrested eventually, and he's in jail. His son goes exactly, and his son goes down the wrong path, and he ends up a criminal now.
Right, sure.
So now
he probably would.
Hammond's son is the cop, and Cates' son is the criminal.
Right.
What do you think of that?
Okay, that sounds awesome, but what's the story?
Well, I mean, we remake 48 Hours again, but we make a modern day version of 40 Hours, but it's reversed. And then we can also have Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte in there.
Right. Let me know.
Let's do it. I don't know. It's just an idea I've had for about 10 years.
We can write it. So if anybody out there is listening and is about to steal it, don't steal
copyrighted, trademark.
We're going to write it. We'll write it.
TM Doomsday Doopy Doo.
So Quentin Tarantino's he did a couple of brilliant movies.
The problem is I love Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs so much, and even Kill Bill. I love Kill Bill so much.
Kill Bill's fun to watch.
It is fun. I love Hattori Hanzo. I love they play with all the Asian movie stereotypes from all the great Japanese movies that I love. Mm-hmm. But Pulp Fiction, I fucking love that movie. I watch it every fucking time it's on. Yeah, it never ceases to amaze me. I don't give a fuck what's in the briefcase. I think it's irrelevant. I'm not the kind of guy who's like, I need to know what who cares?
It's Marcellus Wallace's soul.
Yeah, that's what they say. That's why he has a Band-Aid on his neck, because that's how they took his soul out. Right. Who the fuck took his soul out?
And Satan. That's why.
Was it Scorpion from Mortal Kombat?
Satan. That's why the combination was 666 on the suitcase.
I just thought they were uncreative.
No,
I would be better if it was like 1, 2, 3.
Well, I don't know. I'm just, that's just the theory that's out there. So, what were we talking about before I fucking got? We were talking about Star Wars and how completely out of fucking character they made Luke Skywalker a different fucking person. He's not even Luke Skywalker anymore. I changed the subject
so we could save that for an entire episode.
He's not Luke Skywalker anymore. He should just be playing Mark Hamill in the next movie.
Listeners, just so you know, this conversation was what prompted.
Matter of fact, Mark Hamill was, I think, pissed about it.
No, he's still pissed about it.
Right. So not even, he can't even be Mark Hamill.
But that voiceover. Just
make him, who's the president? Who's that woman? Make it her.
What?
The woman, the president of Disney.
Oh, Kathleen.
Yeah, make it's not Luke Skywalker. It's
Kennedy?
Catherine Kennedy.
Yeah, you hate her.
She took my childhood.
All right.
And flushed it down the fucking toilet.
They bought it, but they bought the property from Lucas. Okay. George Lucas sold the property.
Right. Well, he flushed it down.
He sold your childhood away.
He sold my childhood.
Yeah.
And then Kathleen flushed it. And this is the world we live in now.
It's business.
Yep.
It's business. Yeah, you're taking this very personally. You're taking this very personally.
Yeah. Well, let me let's recap Generation X for a minute, okay? George Lucas sells your childhood. Kathleen Kennedy flushes it down the toilet. Bill Cosby's a rapist, and Pluto isn't a planet.
And Michael Jackson is a kid toucher.
Well,
When he sings-
that we kind of had an inkling. For a long
Yeah,
time.
but I think he did some weird shit. Like,
But I'm just saying, like, the things that you
no, but
like we
but then what is that? But what is that?
like, our whole generation is a lie.
But dude,
Do you realize that
but what are we?
our
here's-
entire generation is a lie?
But here's the question you should ask yourself: these things, all of these things,
Yeah.
And I love everything that you said about. I love music and I love pop culture and I love movies. You know me, dude. It's like my fucking life. My kids are obsessed with it. But look at what we put up on a pedestal. When we put all these things up on a pedestal like it's holy. We put Bill Cosby, who's a man, just like you,
Right.
on a pedestal. And we say, he's America's dad. He would never drug and have sex with somebody's unconscious body.
No, but I don't even know if it's putting him on a pedestal. It's just that.
But you kind of deified those things. You.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
In
Again,
a sense, not just
out
you.
of character.
We all do. We all
Right.
do.
I mean, completely out of character, completely not. Our entire lives is a lie.
I don't know that that's true, dude. Your life is
Dude.
not a lie.
No, I mean,
What we stopped to think to
we looked up. We thought Christopher Columbus was a good guy. We thought. What else? Did we
But
get
what
wrong?
made? But I think once again the problem is I think Christopher Columbus was a great man in that time. I think the problem is when you
He
put
was
him,
a baker's son.
but when you put him through the prism of our time and our morality, he looks like a piece of shit.
Right.
Just like
Yeah, but
slave owners look like a piece of shit whether they
but the
signed the
prism-
Declaration of
the
Independence
prism-
or not.
The prism. We didn't. I guess we didn't have the prism.
No, Well,
so it's like that's what I'm saying.
we don't
didn't-
think like that.
There was this magical prism. Let's stick with the prism. There's this magical prism that shows you the fucking truth. We did not have that prism for our entire lives.
But
And we find out that our history books lied to us. Like when do I have to deify my history textbook?
no, but remember, you're only taught what your government teaches you from the perspective that they teach
okay.
you.
Well, let's go now. When I grew up, that's only happened in Russia. It doesn't happen in the United States of America. So that's a lie too. That means my
It is a
government is a lie.
Of course.
It means everything's a little fake.
We said it. Everyone is a
And-
hero
and that
of
was-
their own story.
That was the topper. Like, it was just like, all right. It's all gone to shit, right? But at least I have Luke Skywalker.
No, you don't.
And I don't.
You don't have Luke Skywalker or Bill Cosby or John Wetland.
They fucking
John Wetland. is-
John Wetland. I still, until I know what that means. What was the charge again?
Aggravated sexual assault.
I don't know the definition of aggravated sexual assault.
Well, let's look it up.
Because, like I said, if it was a 17-year-old chick in a club that was going to be 18 in 2 weeks, and she was all over him, and he had sex with her, is that aggravated assault? Because if it is, then
Not aggravated assault.
aggravated sexual assault. If it is, then I don't want to say it's not bad because it's still bad. But
Well, this isn't going to make you feel any better. The precise definitions of and punishments for aggravated sexual assault vary from nation to nation and state to state.
okay,
In the United States of America, it's a felony sexual offense
Okay.
governed by laws that vary from state to state. And that's the definition.
So it varies from state to state. So which state did it happen in?
New Jersey.
It happened in New Jersey.
It was in NJ.com.
So I
And
until
that's
I
over,
know
dude, over and over and over and over is that defines the crime of aggravated sexual assault and what elevates a sexual assault case to an aggravated sexual assault case. I don't know.
So
I guess he was really pissed. Was he really pissed off when he did it?
I'm like mad about it.
Well,
All of it.
it's sad that we lived in the bubble and the bubble popped.
I don't think we lived in a bubble. We lived in the world that was presented to us, and that we went to school and we learned what they taught us, and we trusted these people. And then we grew up, and we found out they're all a pack of fucking liars.
Well, we learned that because of the information age, right? Because back then, information didn't travel the way that it travels now.
Right.
Like instantly.
Right. So now they've been found out.
Yeah. Like, let me give you an example, dude.
I'm not saying the truth just popped into existence. The truth was always there.
No,
That's the problem.
It was. It just wasn't.
It just we were lied to.
Was hidden. I got something on my phone that just popped up, and you're in the office and you look at it and you put it down and you're like, I wouldn't, like 10 years ago, you didn't have no fucking idea.
Right.
And here's what it said. Let me see if I can find it again, because this blew my fucking mind. So on the seventh inning stretch that the Yankees play a version
right
of Kate Smith's God Bless America. God Bless America.
Yes.
They will no longer play that.
Okay.
Because of Kate Smith's potential racist ideas that she had, they will no longer play that song.
What potential?
I don't know. And I also don't know how that fucking matters. It's a fucking song.
Did she even write the song?
No.
She didn't write it.
She did not write the song.
Okay. Well, I mean, there are many people who sang that song. We have to play her version.
Yeah, but it's just like, okay.
Well, I mean, if that song was written by somebody and you like the song and it's fitting for the seventh inning stretch, and I gave you 10 people and one of them is potentially a racist, would you pick that one to play?
But does it make me a racist because I like her version of the song?
No.
Is her version of the song more racist because she sang it?
No.
So why the fuck does that matter?
Because there's 10 versions of the song that you could pick. Why pick the racist?
But it's not because a racist.
You gotta answer
because
that
a
question
racist
first.
sang it. It makes it racist.
No, it's not a racist song.
It's not.
They're gonna play someone else's version of the same song.
But why does it matter?
Because if she was a racist, why play a racist?
I do.
You have what's wrong with the other 9 non-racist?
But what if I like that version more?
Have you heard the other 9?
They probably all sound very similar.
Very simple.
It's the same fucking song. But I'm just saying.
Maybe they sound even more updated.
But why does it matter
have you
that
heard the
she
Kanye
was
West version?
Well, what if Kanye West is very possibly a racist?
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm just saying.
Could be.
Okay, well, what? So if you
and then when the story comes out that he's a racist, then you guys stop playing his version too. I don't know. There's no reason to give airplay to people that maybe are racist.
Because of what you're promoting now. Kate Smith is fucking dead, dude. What the fuck am I promoting?
You know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, is that equivalent of like book burning?
Or tearing down statues?
Like what if we found out J.D.
down...
Salinger was a racist? Do you stop teaching Catcher in the Rye in school?
Well, because he lived in a time where quite possibly he could have been a racist.
I bet you he was. We should start that rumor.
But does that diminish, whether or not he's a racist or not, does that diminish his art?
No.
Whether it's vocally or written or sculpted?
I don't
What
think
if
so.
fucking Leonardo da Vinci was a racist?
He probably was.
Probably was.
Yeah.
Does that diminish what he did?
I think Buzz Aldrin's a racist.
Quite possibly, yeah. So I don't get it. Tearing down, because they own slaves. Well, fuck. A lot of people own slaves. Right. It was the way shit was here. Not right now. We realize that. We're enlightened.
Right. It wasn't just here. It was a lot of places.
No, slaves. I mean, it was...
Some places I think there's still slaves, aren't there?
Yeah. I mean, in Africa, they capture other fucking tribes. Fuck with them. I'm sure they do still to this day.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So I don't know. It blew my mind. I'm like, why the fuck does this matter? I don't know why this matters. Why the fuck does it matter?
It doesn't bother me.
And then what are you...
It bothers me more that Pluto's not a planet.
Well, yeah, that's weird too.
I mean, why?
That was
because it's too small. That doesn't make sense. And then they found another planet. We thought we were fucking 9. We went from 9-planet solar system. Like if I took my 6th grade fucking science project, it's a piece of shit now because I had 9 planets in it. And then it became 8. Right, so you have to take Pluto off.
Isn't that?
And now they're adding a 9th back.
It was a whole,
and it's some other fucking planet.
That was a whole Rick and Morty thing about. He was doing a.
Pluto, and he was saying Pluto's a planet. Yeah.
He was like, scientists can be wrong.
Yeah,
and it is true.
Scientists can be wrong.
They have been wrong historically speaking.
They've been wrong a lot.
A lot, yes.
You can eat eggs. You can eat eggs. Eat eggs. Don't eat eggs. Eat eggs. Well, don't eat eggs. Eat 2 eggs. You can have 4.
Study shows that drinking wine while you're pregnant is okay. Don't drink wine when you're pregnant. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah, don't drink wine. It's good to drink wine. 1 glass of wine.
1 glass is wine. Yeah, don't drink any wine.
No.
Will you make up your goddamn mind?
Nobody knows.
Nobody.
That's the other thing we were taught. Like, I don't know if we were taught, but I thought when I was going to school that I was being taught by adults who knew stuff. That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
That's another lie. As now an adult, I know they don't know shit. Nobody knows. As a matter of fact, most people don't know anything, and myself included. But at least when I'm walking down the street and someone goes, "Hey Nick, what's this?" I'll go, "I don't fucking know."
Yeah. And what are you, a fucking idiot?
Yeah, I guess I am an idiot because I don't fucking know.
No, I'm an idiot because I don't pretend that I know something that I don't know.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with not knowing, but fucking say you don't know.
But that's the two things. There are two things that people will call you. You're an idiot because you say you don't know something that you don't want to talk about because you're not informed. And number two, they call you an asshole because you tell somebody something that they don't want to hear.
Oh, well, that happens all the time.
Oh, yeah, believe me, it happens to me all the time.
Constantly tell people the stuff they don't want to hear.
Wow.
I don't.
Well, you know what she did? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, well, what the fuck did you do to her? You're a fucking asshole. Okay, well, I'm an asshole because I told you. I said, that's just, I tell my wife all the time, that's just perspective of me saying something to you that you don't want to hear.
Right.
So idiots say things that they're smarter because they say things, they don't want to talk about things that they're not educated about, and assholes tell you things that you don't want to hear.
My son will go, "Oh, he did this, 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 and this," and then I'll just go, "Okay." Now, if I asked him what happened, what would he say? Mm-hmm. What would he say? And I'm not against you. I just want to hear what his story would be.
Well, and I tell my kids the same thing. I say, I talk to you and I talk to him and I listen to both of your stories. And then I go towards the middle and I say, that's the truth. And that's, I go through life like that.
You have to.
Because you can't, everybody's perspective on things is that, oh, and then they came to me and they persecuted. I was actually crucified for 3 hours and then he lit me on fire and he scourged me with a flaming spear. I'm like, okay. I don't really believe that. I believe about 50% of that happened. I'm probably
just the crucifixion part.
Just mostly, I'm really into crucifixion.
I know.
Especially because it's Easter and everything.
Yeah,
so I'm like trying to tie it back into the holiday.
Yeah. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Happy
Passover.
Happy 420.
Happy 420. Smoke a bong load of thorns in your yarmulke.
Yeah, so, I'm sick of, everybody has taken our childhood and our formative years and everything that has brought us to this point where we are, and they've taken a big, giant shit on it. And then while they're taking a giant shit on it, millennials are blaming us for shit that I had nothing to fucking do with. I spent my first half of my life apologizing for slavery and the second half of my life apologizing for fucking mortgage rates or something, like that it's hard to buy a house. I didn't do this stuff. It's all, I guess every generation has its own problems, but I feel like Luke Skywalker is gone. He's gone.
He was sacred to you.
No. The story was meant something. The story,
no, I don't
know. Is a story sacred? I don't know if a story is sacred. But
I think the character was sacred to you. He was something you felt like, okay, everything else I'll deal with, but why do you have to fuck with that? That was what I had to hang my hat.
Well, no, but that's the story. Well, I mean, I almost said the story was him. One of the things I liked about the prequels, one of the only things I liked about the prequels, is if you watch the first three movies, and when I say the first three, I mean the order that they came out of the theaters. So into the theater. So, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. If you watch those three, it's a story about Luke Skywalker. If you watch all six, it's a story about Anakin Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought that was cool. And to be truthful, though Anakin's story has more holes in it.
Yeah.
Some of them pretty large. I kind of like both stories. Because, Luke's story was coming of age and becoming this hero that he dreamt of becoming. Whereas Anakin was the more reluctant hero, had a fall from grace, and then came back.
Retribution.
So Anakin's story is actually more interesting than Luke's. But and it's interesting that both of their stories are tied together, not just by physical family ties, but by how Luke essentially creates that retribution, or helps create it, helps him see the path towards that retribution. And then once Anakin sees it, he then seizes it, So that's the only reason I like the prequels, is because that kind of points at that story out. I think they fucked it up in a lot of different ways. But
well, I mean,
you can't take Luke Skywalker and change him and then still call the movie Star Wars. Like that would, like if I took, Rocky Balboa and made him a fucking loser dipshit, you're not watching Rocky anymore. You're watching a different story.
Yeah.
You're not watching Rocky.
The only thing I would say was I don't think it's out of the question to change the character. I think you need the right catalyst to change the character. And I agree with you then in that I don't know if what they put in front of us was the right catalyst to make a significant change to that character.
No, not even close.
And to your point,
it was a feeling he had.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like he had been burned a million times before or whatever it was, or that he had seen something like this before, other than with his father, which P.S. he worked out, right? They worked that out.
Right. He saw good in Darth Vader, but can see no good in Kylo Ren.
Yeah, right. And he's going to murder this kid in his sleep. No, I mean, and
who's his nephew?
And also to your same point is
and murder him while he's sleeping.
If you watch the original,
not arrest him.
While he's sleeping, like a fucking
not
coward.
Arrest him.
No, like a coward.
No, like a coward. Yeah. He was going to decapitate him while he slept.
Yeah.
And then runs away.
Yeah, disappears.
Fucking
and removes himself.
Not even close to like Luke Skywalker is.
No, it's dicey.
It negates. That tells you, if that's what he did, then that tells you A New Hope was complete bullshit. Just like everything else was bullshit. Christopher Columbus and go down the line. And Bill Cosby, it's all bullshit. Like Thunderlip said in Rocky 2, it's all fake. Rocky 3, it's all fake meatball.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with Star Wars as it stands now.
But see, I don't even
so
say,
now,
but also
knowing that you did that, knowing that you showed me 6 movies, and then in 2 movies declared those 6 movies bullshit. You literally declared them bullshit because that's not Luke Skywalker. So if that's not Luke Skywalker, then that wasn't even a story worth telling. Now I'm supposed to be invested in these 3 fucking movies. And by the way, the first one is an exact copy of the movie that you just declared is bullshit. How can you? I'm sorry. How can you make Luke's like? It's a hero's journey, right? The story's about the hero. He starts an ordinary person. There's something awry, or there's a longing, or there's something missing. He goes. He's maybe drawn to some other. Drawn to something more. He becomes. He meets a mentor. He
loses a mentor.
He refuses. He gets a call to adventure. He refuses that call. There is something that pushes him and makes him something he wasn't before, and he crosses that threshold and physically becomes that hero. And that's the story. And then. Because now I'm watching a hero. Now I'm watching an actual story. I'm watching this person take this journey and cross these thresholds and become a different person. And then they become a different person, and then they usually come back, this full circle where they'll either bring the treasure back, or they'll bring the knowledge back, or they'll go through life now a different person. They bring the knowledge back within themselves. That's usually how the story will end in some way is this return of some sort. And so that circle literally happens in A New Hope. The whole fucking circle.
Mhm.
And George Lucas, when he wrote it, said he was embarrassed because he thought people would see it, because he copied that structure as much as he could from, Obi-Wan. Like, every stage he copied from, he actually copied it from Joseph Campbell, stealing the whole thing. But he's not stealing anything, because every story is this way, where these stages just happen in order for a hero to go through this journey, in order for it to be a story. So if he admits it himself, and Luke goes through that journey, then that's the story. That's Luke Skywalker. That was... It would be like the story of Little Red Riding Hood, right? And the big bad wolf, or whatever the hell and how does that end? She brings the cookies to her grandmother, and it ends up being the wolf.
Yep, the wolf is in bed waiting for her.
Right, and then the wolf eats her, right?
In the original Grimm's fairy tales, I believe she is eaten.
Right. So it would be as if she ate the wolf. It's a different story now. It's a different... that means Little Red Riding Hood isn't Little Red Riding Hood. She's a fucking maniac who eats wolves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's a different story.
Isn't that what Hansel and Gretel did to the witch?
Yes.
The witch wanted to cook Hansel and Gretel in the oven.
Right.
And they kicked her fucking ass in the oven.
Right.
Then that's, they would say that's irony.
Well,
but it's also fucking brutality.
Right. Well, absolutely. And then, but they were kicked out of their homes by their parents. But then maybe they probably got some problems.
And what about that bitch Goldilocks? I mean, she breaks into somebody else's house, and we're supposed to be sympathetic to her.
She's trying out beds and stuff.
And eating food. And sitting in fucking chairs.
Yes.
And fucking using motherfuckers' toothbrushes.
She used toothbrushes?
I'm sure if you expanded, she was into everything, I'm pretty sure.
I guess she was
fucking with shit.
She was fucking with shit. Yeah. But you can't have her... try all 3 beds and then just leave going, all these beds suck.
Yeah.
Because it's not Goldilocks.
No, you're
right. If Alice goes to the hole and doesn't jump in, it's not Alice in Wonderland anymore. Do you understand?
No,
it's a different story.
No, I agree.
Which I'm fine with. Tell a different story.
I agree with you completely. And there's a way that, and I have a whole theory. Like, once again, I'm not going to get into it because I'm holding on to it. But there's a whole theory around why Luke could get to where they put Luke, but they didn't do the work to get him there. They just said they teased Luke.
Maybe they can show it to us.
They tease Luke in the first. But dude, the last movie is called The Rise of Skywalker. It's the last movie in the saga. So I almost feel like it must be this journey through. From Anakin's journey, or maybe from Luke's journey, all the way up to the apex of it, to gain this knowledge. One of the things they've said is it's an adventure story for that whole group of people, as opposed to it being this segmented Star Wars story. Everybody's on this journey together. We see they're somewhere near the fucking Death Star. We see the fucking Emperor laughing. What does all that fucking shit mean? We have a voiceover from Mark Hamill that's not old. That's a new voiceover. Newly recorded, so that's some piece of this. I don't think Rey is a Skywalker. I would actually be disappointed if she was, because I think that's too obvious. I don't think everybody has to be related. Every black person in Star Wars isn't Lando's kid, because it was like, Finn is Lando's son. Okay, wait, because they're both black and there's no black people in Star Wars. Stop it.
The future has very few.
Yeah, there's 2 black people in the whole fucking Star Wars universe. It's Lando and that fucking black Bespin guard. That's it.
They had a pretty good. I mean, if you're black and you got one black person, You did pretty good with Lando Calrissian, man. I would take
fucking
that.
Billy D. Williams,
it's
dude.
Fucking
Yes.
Billy D. Williams, dude.
Yeah, no, he's awesome. But dude, I loved your reaction, and that's why I wanted you to see it. I wanted to see your reaction when you see Billy D. Williams. Like, it's fucking Billy D. Williams.
Lando, man. I fucking
it was
love
great,
Lando.
dude.
I
He's
don't
in
know
the
why
fucking,
I love Lando.
but he's in the cockpit of the
fucking-
Millennium Falcon with fucking Chewbacca, and you're like, yeah, it's as close as you're gonna get at this point, because fucking Han Solo is dead, and fucking Luke Skywalker's dead, and fucking Carrie Fisher is dead for real, dead.
Right. So Lando got his ship back.
Lando's all we got.
Yep.
And you should watch Solo, because then you get back to Lando had the ship originally. So you feel like, okay, Lando's full circle and he's in the cockpit with Chewie.
Right.
And how you doing, Chewbacca?
Right.
You still hanging out with this loser? You know? So you know, I don't know. I don't disagree with you, and I have a lot of thoughts about the Jedi, and have a lot of thoughts about how we could have gotten Luke there.
We should definitely do that. I know what that's about. But I
we've touched on it, but I haven't given you my full flavor.
No, I know you have
my thoughts on the Jedi.
Yeah. But
and my take on that.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think, and you hit Rocky too, and I got a lot of shit to say about Rocky. You've got to watch
a fucking great movie.
You've got to watch Creed before we could talk about it, though. Creed 1 and 2, because it
ties into Rocky.
It's legitimately the extension of the Rocky universe, and they're very good. And I'll let you borrow them. I have them, so no price to you.
I think I have it on one of the services has it.
But yeah. So I don't know. That's our fun, non-political. We didn't talk about the Mueller report at all.
Yeah, I had the Notre Dame burning down and all that shit. But yeah, maybe next time we'll go over some stuff. Nothing. We'll talk about Notre Dame burning down.
The college Notre Dame burned down.
The cathedral.
Oh yeah,
you just busted my fucking chops.
I am busting your chops.
Yeah.
I'm tired of seeing, though. You know what bothers me is people on Facebook who are like, Notre Dame.
On Facebook in general.
Yes, it does upset me. That's why I don't go on that much. But Notre Dame is burning, and this fucking cocksucker, in order to tie himself into it somehow, shows a picture of himself in front of the fucking Eiffel Tower going, thoughts and prayers. I'm like, holy fucking shit, dude. It's not about you. For fucking 5 minutes, make it not about how you're going to get a Facebook page over the fact that
fuck you.
This
really
holy fucking shit.
All right, I have to go.
You got to go?
I have to go.
He's got to pee.
You want to close off the show?
You want me to close the show?
Yeah, and when you're done, hit this red button.
All right, I'm going to
just tell people to follow us and to leave a review and stuff like that.
So while Nick pees, I'm going to shut the show down here. The shit
take
show.
Take care, everybody.
Bye, Nick. Follow us at Doomsday Doopy on Twitter.
Oh, jeez.
I'm bad with names. Why did you leave me on this? Follow Nick on Twitter at NickRTweets. DoomsdayDoopy at gmail.com. DoomsdayDoopyDoo on Twitter. Follow us on YouTube. You know what? Leave us a bad review, but give us 5 stars. Negative feedback will be read on the air. I encourage that. Nobody's really done that yet, so please do that. I can't believe he left me here on my own to say what I want. And I don't know what to say. You can follow me at CJ Scannell. Thanks for listening. We will return. Wasabi peas, motherfuckers.